Today, we'll continue to explore the world of the rich and wealthy. Welcome to Luxury Fountain. Today, we'll take a dive into some mansions that people don't want to buy for any amount of money. Don't forget to hit that like button, turn on that notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Without further ado, let's begin. If you have an extra dollar laying around, you might be able to rent a home by tomorrow. Or even better, you might own the key to your own whole property. It seems too perfect, isn't it? But keep in mind that there's always a catch when you can buy $1 million mansion for just pennies. And in this video, you'll find out what to keep in mind when buying cheap housing. From infamously disreputable parties in penthouses in New York to one of the most remote homes in the nation, and even the infamous previous residences of dubious celebrities. Buckle up for a visit in these mansions that would cost us a fortune to maintain. We experience fairy tales when we get to stay in mansions fit for royalty and class. But if you don't have somebody around to share your picture-perfect home with, it serves no purpose. The huge log home known as Granoloma is the largest of its kind in the nation. You can find it on the breezy coasts of the Lake Superior in Michigan. It is almost 2,600 square feet in size and features 23 bedrooms and also has an additional 4 individual apartments in a bungalow-style outbuilding. There's also a huge garden area, the perfect hot tub fit for a royal, and a private marina you can enjoy. It was listed for sale for a whopping $40 million, but even after slashing that price in half, interest has been almost non-existent. On the one hand, being a historic building, Granoloma's interior is severely outdated. With wall-to-wall taxidermy, it would take millions to redo all the rooms. On the other hand, it's alarmingly remote. The nearest major city, Green Bay, is almost 200 miles south. Oh, and did we mention the bone-chilling winters? Imagine the cost of heating this place year after year. Yeah, no thanks, we'll pass. All the way to New Jersey from Michigan, this odd house at 44 Pleasant Avenue has been standing idle for quite a while. Though it appears to be a historical, charming, and attractive home from the outside, it costs about 2 Big Macs. Think it's a great deal? Well, you can own the entire Montclair house for just $10. But there's a catch, of course. The land on which it is located has been given the go signal for the construction of 8 additional buildings. It simply means that if you have any thoughts on buying this 100-year-old house, you have to physically relocate it, upheaving foundation, installing new ones, paying movers, and acquiring council licenses to essentially drag a house down the road on the back of a truck can add up to be astronomically expensive. Considering that it has historically been protected, it would be difficult to prevent exposure to the hazardous lead paint and asbestos that are embedded in its walls. The plain fact is that moving and restoring this American home would cost significantly more than it would to buy it in the first place, which sounds like a lot more work and more expensive than you'd hope for. Living where any celebrity lived before is absolutely something you can brag about, but also doubles its cost in the market. Potential buyers would want to buy the house of any of the Kardashians, or even famous athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo or Stephen Curry. But if the house were to be a 50 cents gigantic estate, the story might be different. The massive property was bought by 50 Cent from the infamous Mike Tyson in 2003 for $4.1 million. There has to be any response since its entry in the market for $18.5 million. This mansion has all of these amenities, including 2 gorgeous pools, 1 indoor and 1 outdoor, a hot tub, multiple gaming rooms, a music studio, 2 basketball courts, and even a nightclub. There are 52 rooms in all, 21 are bedrooms. The primary cause of its inability to sell is its incomprehensible size. Even the wealthiest millionaires wouldn't really need it. It would be ludicrous to continue paying for heating, electricity, and cleaning. Despite the rapper continuously reducing the asking price, eventually bringing it down to $2.9 million, it still hasn't been sold. Another infamous artist with an unsold property is that of the $100 million Neverland Ranch in Santa Barbara County, California. This property serves as both a home and an amusement park. The property encompasses a massive 2,700 acres and includes a 50-seat movie theater, a dance studio, Barnes Fire Station, a Disney-themed railway station and train, a lagoon-type swimming pool, and a tennis court. Despite all these amenities, real estate purchasers have avoided it at all costs. The stained reputation of its former owner, famed pop icon Michael Jackson, is the sole cause of this demeanor. Just under a third of its initially stated price of $100 million, the refurbished Sycamore Valley Ranch marketed for $31 million. Without even a hint of interest, the listing was taken down after spending almost 5 years on the market. As we head on to the East Coast from the West, have a look at this lavish condominium in Manhattan's affluent Upper East Side. It most recently belonged to Brigitte Bardot's former spouse Gianni Agnelli, yet he purchased it exclusively from the renowned fashion icon Roy Halston Frowick. It isn't a shock that this elegant apartment, with its distinctive open floor plan and minimalist style, became a non-stop nightlife hotspot in the 1970s, greeting a lengthy list of famous individuals when it was first purchased in 1974. In 2011, it was marketed for sale at $38 million. Despite the reduction of the price to $24 million, it lingered unsellable for the majority of the decade. Those with the means just preferred to purchase items without such a contentious, flamboyant, or theatrical reputations, and stairs with railings were more preferable for them. In the UK sits this mind-blowing enormous home about 40 kilometers outside of London. You're about to discover why this property, which had a $138 million asking price back in 2005, became the most highly priced residence ever. It is 50,000 square feet bigger than any of the Buckingham Palace and Hampton Court Palace combined, with more than 58 acres of property. This luxurious home has 103 individual rooms, 24 of which are bedrooms, each with a gorgeous marble-lined ensuite bathroom, as well as a squash court, theater room, wine cellar, gym, equestrian field, soccer field, bowling alley, tennis court, and panic room are included in that figure. The property is lined with 5 magnificent swimming pools, and the $6 million marble-heated parking space costs more than most homes in the nation by itself. The main reason why nobody wants to purchase it is that it is simply too overpriced. This enormous amount of space is unnecessary. You'd spend millions just on maintenance and monthly bills. Castles are the epitome of fairy tales, and some castles can be seen in the real world. One was even for sale, the Bannerman Castle, located somewhere you wouldn't expect it to be, New York. It could all be yours for just a couple of bucks. But there's one problem. It's only a partial castle. The mansion was used to store weaponry before blowing up in 1920. Subsequently, it caught fire 50 years later, totally ruining the roofing and the substructure. What was left was a group of deteriorating walls on an island that could only be reached by boat. The vessel, which incidentally capsized in a storm in Hudson in 1950 and fell to the bottom. Without much public interest, the Bannermans ended up selling the site and the dilapidated castle to the state of New York, which later closed the place to visitors and leased the artifacts to the Smithsonian. Picking the right country in Europe can help you acquire cheaper living expenses and the lower mortgages. Budget-friendly countries in the Far East include Romania, Bulgaria, Poland, and Hungary. Italy is rarely included in that same category, but in the town of Olulai, that is set to alter. In a sense, these houses are being given away. In the Barbega Mountains of Sardinia, you can purchase your very own home for €1, which is around $20. So why haven't people been flocking to buy one of these stone-built Mediterranean homes? For starters, the properties are already in terrible shape. Buyers are also required to commit to a 3-year renovation that will probably cost approximately $25,000 in total. It's all a part of a larger government initiative to revitalize the area, since Olulai is on the verge of being extinct due to a declining population. Here's one surprisingly cheap house for sale in the thriving city of San Francisco. The fact that a $1 property is up for grabs in the Golden City, one of the most expensive cities in America, is all the more unexpected. The Queen Anne, more commonly referred to as Historic Home Number 54, is a Victorian-styled house located in the Hercules neighborhood of the East Bay. The residence was to be converted into a visitor center, and a local government even began the renovations by cutting the house in half. However, the proposal eventually failed, and it was left standing. The city of Hercules allows anyone to purchase it for $1 just to get rid of it. Reconstructing this and putting it back together will surely make you go bankrupt. A program is now being implemented in revitalizing Detroit. For as little as $1,000, unoccupied residences are being leased off throughout the entire metropolitan area, one of which is this old Tudor-style mansion. It appears like a complete steal with 7 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, alongside the old-world charm that dates back to the building's initial construction in the 1920s. Things might get different once you enter inside. Keep in mind that the building was built in the early 20th century, with little to no changes over years. This requires new electrical wiring, plumbing, and floors. To restore a house like this to a livable condition would cost tens of thousands of dollars, and much more if you wanted a totally modern refurbishment. It would cost you the same amount of simply buying a modernized house. Which of the residences we've seen today do you think you'd choose to live in? Post your thoughts and comments in the section below. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Luxury Fountain if you liked the video. We're hoping to see you in our future video.